So the principles of Tajweed, as we mentioned, that there are many principles, but the Sheikh only mentions 4 because all the principles that will come will fall under these 4 categories, or three categories. So now, before anything else, I just want to mention something that I think it'll be very interesting, and it's good to be mindful of this when we start actually talking about the makharij and where the letters come from. Think of how would an instrument, would a flute, for example, or with one of those instruments that you play like this, you know how basically you have to move your fingers to make different sounds, but if you just blow into the wood, it'll be just like a sound, right? But when you move your fingers like this, that's when different sounds will come. So basically, that's how a human being is, essentially, right? Because if you don't, if you don't apply any pressure along the way from your lung to your throat to your mouth, if you don't apply any pressure, it'll be just like a sound, right? No pressure, it's just like a sound. But then if you apply pressure along the way, you'll start making different sounds, right? So for example, you say the first junction point is right here at the very bottom. So if you apply pressure here, it'll be see? So instead of just letting it go, you say right? And then the next place where you apply pressure is the middle of the throat, right? So if you apply pressure here, it'll be ha, right? It'll be ha, or what's the second one? Right? Ain. Exactly. So if you touch your throat, you even feel it. So ha and ha, ha, and then the next place is up here, the top of your throat. So if you apply pressure here, it'll be kha and gha, right? And then if you apply pressure a bit, like at the end of your mouth, it'll be qaf and ga. But ga, we don't have ga in Arabic. But that's basically if we include G in this. Yeah. Yeah, if we say it's Egyptian, Egyptian Arabic, yes, there's a ga. So and then so the further you go, the more letters become at your disposal. So here you're limited to two, and then once you reach the mouth, most of the letters, that's where most of the letters come from, right? So they call the letters that come from the throat huruf al-halq, the letters of the throat. So just be mindful of this fact that you're essentially, what you're doing is applying pressure. What you have to master is where to apply that pressure. What you have to master is where to apply that pressure, and with what you have to apply that pressure, and that is basically the place of applying that pressure is the what we call the makhraj, or the point of articulation, the point of pronouncing that letter. Yes, so inshallah, we are already at 7:47. We went through the 10 principles, and what we can do is we can open the floor to questions, and then I don't want to hold you up all night, and then we can continue next week. And for next week, I'll let you know which pages we'll read, inshallah. And I apologize, Brother Naim, because we kind of went over almost the same thing. I think there was some new stuff that we went over. But just this halaqah as the halaqah of reciting the Quran, and just the blessing and the barakah that descends upon us, inshallah, is enough, even if the content is repetitive. But as we said, one of the things with Tajweed is repetition is the key. Something that is required with Tajweed is the more you repeat it, the better you become at it. So inshallah, we'll end here, and if you have any questions, we can answer them, and if not,
tomorrow is tafsir, right? Inshallah?
Tomorrow is tafsir, inshallah. Tomorrow is tafsir, and if you guys want, we can just quickly write the huruf al-halq. So this is the throat. We'll divide it into 3 parts. This is where hamza comes, and also ha. Actually, for ha you don't have to apply any pressure, but we still consider it from the bottom of throat, even though you don't apply any pressure here, because so when you say ha, right, it just comes from your lungs and goes up without any pressure. When you say hamza, that is when you apply a pressure here. So when we say at the bottom of the throat, meaning anything below the bottom of the throat, so which is ha and hamza, and then you have kha and gha, yeah.
Is it ha and gha?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I messed up. So you have ha and ayn, and then you have kha and ghayn, right? This is a very long throat, but just for teaching purposes. Yeah, so if you want, try to, if you don't know how to pronounce these, try to pronounce these 3, these 6. Inshallah, practice them for the next week. And there are many resources online which you can use. There are many YouTube videos that you can use, and I think it'll be very beneficial actually if you do that, if you use the YouTube videos, inshallah. So inshallah we'll end here. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Wa salamun ala al-mursaleen walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Jazakumullahu khairan.